Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. I'll give y'all a little bit of time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. I know there's probably a few people who are probably live right now. Shout outs to those ones who've been in here. Shout outs to the ones who definitely been showing the love and support. Serious, what's going on, baby? First things first, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Wednesday evening. For those in the city, hopefully y'all keeping yourselves warm as possible. It's definitely a cold night out there tonight, and if you don't necessarily have to be out there, try to keep yourself as warm and safe as possible. Hopefully everybody, kids had a smooth school day. I know there's some who are probably still a little bit, um, for those in the city, again, there's some parents who are probably still a little bit unnerved because of the situation that happened at their kids' schools. Hopefully, I got you some peace of mind and some common ground for real. Appreciate everybody that tuned in this morning. I had to restart a live because the first live I was already in there cooking and lost sound completely. So some might have came in for the second live, but if you was lost about what was being talked about, just watch the first live. Cool Gamer, what's going on? James, what's going on? But it was definitely a good talk that we needed. If you missed it, catch both of those replays. Try to hold this down for maybe like an hour and a half, depending. Still reiterating on a few things, especially on how to keep your community safer. I think we need to start focusing on that. Like I was saying earlier, and like I was saying yesterday, there should be no reason why a kid should have to fear going to school or coming home from school. There should be no reason why parents should be fearing that their kids don't come home from school. We have to start taking into consideration that we have some troubled youth out there who are moving just like some of these troubled adults. It's clear as day again because we see the motions that they're doing, actions that they're actually doing, and it's not good. It's not good at all. Word, what's going on, my guy? Like for those who live in those areas where they do have front porches and stoops, there's some of y'all who have told stories and have said things that really resonate with the people as far as bringing safety. Shanita, what's going on, baby? Again, no kid should have to worry about doing the simplest thing, like prime example, playing with their toys or playing with the neighbor's kid or something like that, and have to worry about gunshots or being rushed into a house, especially in the broad daylight. Didi, what's going on, baby? Broad daylight, the kids are supposed to be at their safest, especially when they are with their parents. Now, there's some of y'all who refuse to even go even to the neighborhood playgrounds and stuff because the neighborhood playgrounds is turned into a drug zone and a whole turf war, basically. There's some people who are beefing amongst each other and they live blocks away from each other or within the same block. Then you have a whole bunch of ignorance ensuing it. Again, when you have people who their sole interest is to cause beef, cause irritations to people, and even try to cause madness, those are the type of people you don't need around you. And there's some of y'all that really need to start thinking. If a person is only around you because they know you could get into whatever, or they think this is what you're going to be doing, you're always going to have a beef and a confrontation with somebody, that's somebody you need to stay clear away from. Willis, what's going on, my guy? This is why we are getting some of the ignorance we are getting now. Some of these kids are out of control because, again, we are not stepping in the way we supposed to step in. And And I've always felt like this anyway. When there's times those parents don't step into action, the people in the community should step in. Because they can basically stop a whole lot of madness from happening. James number 8, what's going on? DJ is, what's going on, my guy? How many stories have we heard? You know, young boys and girls, they out there being innocent as always, enjoying and exploring life and the options of everything around it. And either their lives got cut short, or they done took serious injuries, or just barely escaped serious injury. We've heard these stories time and time again, and at some point it does get real repetitive. But it also should be stopped because, again, violence of any kind should be the last thing you use and resort to. Again, no kid should have to worry about possibly losing their life because some of you people want to be irresponsible with your choices in life. And some of you who are bringing ignorance around because you're holding on to a grudge. One thing I will say is that a grudge, it leads nowhere. A grudge is only going to lead to destruction and mayhem. There's some people you're going to have fallouts and disagreements with. It doesn't mean you should necessarily hold a grudge neither. Meaning you might have had a falling out over some words that was said or even things that was misconstrued. Does that mean I want to see you in the gravesite early? Does that mean I want to see you hurt physically? No. Shouldn't be that way. But there's some of you who wasn't taught that. You wasn't taught the boundaries as far as learning to leave things alone. If I'm moving away from a situation because I feel this situation is bringing me down, why would you still try to attach yourselves to that person? See, there's some of y'all who will still instigate and even entice the bullshit because this is exactly what you want. A lot of you that I'm sorry, you're more focused on the nonsense, the beefing, the back and forth. And in the same instance of you wasting that time and energy worrying about that, you got things that you could be changing right in front of you. Again, no kid should ever have to worry about not really being able to come outside and enjoy themselves and have recreation and association with the kids within the community because they got to worry about around this same time these hooligans decide they want to have a gunfight. They decide they want to have a big brawl outside. And there's some of you again that you are bringing your personal shit onto this internet as far as your fights and everything else along that. Some things again should stay even off of this app because once it's out there, it's out there. There's no coming back from that. That's going to be something that's always going to be running around circulating because guess what? There's some people who are just that dastardly that they'll use that. They will use that against you. Oh, but this was you getting your butt whooped. Oh, but this, and that, and third. So my thing is, with all this said and done, not everything is a recordable moment, and not everything should be one. You want to record the right things that need to be recorded. Record some greatness actually happening in your community. Miss T, what's going on, baby? It's the truth. Why not? Start really getting videos and recordings of the things that actually matter. It means something. We get too many videos of fights, destruction, gun violence, robberies. We get enough of those. Why we can't get ones with people actually bringing some real good information Or why does it seem like it's a problem with people who are giving information? And that's on all levels. It ain't just your internet community, your actual community. Why is it when people actually bring something that could be great or something that should be noticed or looked at, you have a problem with that? See, I want to include how this is. There's some of y'all who won't listen to a normal 9 to 5 Joe like me when I say the gun violence should come to a halt and it should go back to the way of the land. You got an issue with somebody and y'all can't have a gentleman talk or a female talk about it, then y'all get in the ring and do what you gotta do. But in the same token, remembering y'all both got families and people that love and care for you, and they want to see you still come home. And again, we need to start bringing that strongness and that awareness when it's needed. And there's no way you can tell me in this instance right here that it's acceptable. Should a kid not be outside enjoying their life? Shoot, even making new friends because it's hard to get outside? No. Should kids have to worry about playground shootings too, or playground fights and anything of that nature? No, they shouldn't. A playground is supposed to be what it is. It's for play. It ain't for y'all in here hustling, you in here playing dice. Some of y'all to a point where you done tuck over the kids' parks. These kids don't want to come into a park when they see it's nothing but adults and even young adults, and everybody look like they up to no good. And nobody should have to worry about possibly moving neither because they can't bring their kids outside. At some point, there's certain things that are bigger. That picture is bigger than everybody else's personal views and personal specs. Anti, what's going on, baby? There's some people who won't even let their kids do the simplest thing like go to the store because they take a chance at something possibly happening. And especially with ignorance rearing its ugly head around every corner. In certain instances, there's ways to keep people around you safe and keep yourself safe. First things first is just living accordingly and being humble, being comfortable within your realm, and also being comfortable with who you are as a person, inside and out. Because that's one thing that ain't gonna happen. People will try to do their damnedest to change you, or even try to put you into their cool circle if that's the case. I shouldn't have to dumb down or numb down anything I'm doing to be a part of anything. Shouldn't have to. So I'm supposed to lower my standards, roll with a group of people that I know for a fact don't have standards, and just run amok in my community? No. There's some people again, they don't think for themselves. They are thinking because they only want to be a part of something. They thinking like how the others are thinking. Shoot, if my friends is getting down, why I can't get down? Angel, what's going on, baby? Appreciate you for dropping all those links, serious, baby. You already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And again, we got to start caring and having more compassion. Because again, when we're long gone, these people are going to be definitely, shape shifting the game and trying to bring back the world to its glory. But again, we need to start showing blueprints on how to stand firm and stand united on things, especially when we know it's wrong. Gun violence, again, affects every kid. I don't care what race, creed you are. Gun violence, that disturbs a natural balance. It affects everybody. way to keep some of these situations from happening is the right cool heads have to be around. It shouldn't just be one. It should be more than one head that's probably around everything. And even if they've been around everything, they could be the ones a lot of times to stop a lot of friction from happening. Man, look here, y'all both wrong. Let me tell you where you went wrong, and let me tell you where you went wrong, and then I'm up out of here. You're gonna need that. A calm, cool mediator a lot of times that's gonna be able to tell you what's right and what's wrong and tell you you know, who should be looked at. Like, look here, if you both did something wrong, not just to each other, but if you both did something wrong, that both can't come with that righteous behavior like you didn't do shit. Sorry, you can't do that. Because there's always going to be one person that comes right out of nowhere like a wild card and say, man, listen, y'all arguing over this. Let me tell you how this really happened. Because there's always going to be one person who has a clear accord of what went down. Once we start getting more people involved as far as just really opening your mouths and voicing your opinions the way you're supposed to, we can start getting that change. And honestly, I would implore a lot of y'all, especially the gun toters, put your guns down. Before a gun, what you had to do, you had to fight, right? So what's the difference now? We get the difference now because almost everybody is toting the strap now. Even people that really shouldn't have to, they have to now. That part is a scary notion right there. We done lost some people because people have been scared, and the first thing they thought to do was attack without really giving clear indication on what was going on. Again, you might not want to hear it, but you need to accept the facts. We have to really come together and strengthen our community the way we need to. And if we feel our communities are that dead, then guess what? We need to pick up, relocate, and start the process over again and show exactly how a community should be built, how it should run, and how it should continue to run. Main thing also, for those who feel like they're gonna try to restart a whole new community, gotta make sure you got the proper land to do so. And then some of you who won't even do that because again, it could be somebody that you had a fallout with that probably be the only one or be the nearest one as far as options is concerned. Well, you know what? As much as I don't like this person, I see they standing on this. We could try to get this together and figure this out. Man, what's going on, my guy? But see, even that notion, there's some of y'all that don't want to hear that. Oh, I don't give a damn. I ain't gonna never look here. When the picture is bigger than you need to put your pride to the side for real. You need to open your eyes and open your clear brain to a good vision. You don't want your kids going down specific roads that's going to lead to their downfalls, right? So why not try to teach them something better? Again, like I said the other night, there's a lot of kids losing their lives at a fast pace that shouldn't be losing their life. Some of them are losing their life and they don't even got nothing to do with any type of beef, no interactions, no nothing. And the first thing we hear when we do get those stories, they was a good kid. They never bothered nobody. And I believe that. Those ones who actually were victims, they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But if I feel I'm somewhere where I'm known to be at and I feel safe at, I shouldn't have to worry about possibly losing mine or being laid up in the hospital for days on end, weeks on end, because people couldn't get in control of their emotions. A real common problem. It's too many people moving around on emotional time and not thinking on a logical level. The things you do, the actions that you create, they do have dire consequences. And what are you essentially teaching those ones behind you? And some of y'all should actually chill it out, because if you got kids already, your kids should have been the main reason why you changed for the better. There's some people who was on that streets time. They was on that rah-rah. They didn't care about anything. Shit. Once they done had a kid added into the mix, or even two, it opened up their eyes and it opened up their spirit to realize, I want to be here to make sure my kids are straight. I want to make sure my kids learn everything they need to learn. I want my kids not to have to go through the same struggles I went through. I'm going to try to teach them the best I can, so this way they can teach theirs. And then theirs can teach theirs. Again, the generational ladder of information. That's the way it really is supposed to be. But again, someplace we dropped the ball. We need to pick it back up. We need to pick it back up, and we need to start bouncing and moving into the right directions. See, the problem with some people in these communities, they don't really want to sit down and have a discussion with somebody. Again, they would rather come together and fight. They would rather come together and fight and plot to destroy something, but they ain't gonna come back together for something great. Got to start getting a clear understanding on things. Essentially, what are we fighting for? Some people know what they're fighting for, what they're trying to fight for, and they're gonna do their damnedest to make sure they still continue to do so, as they should, because that's not just showing strength and character. That's showing a blueprint to those that, look here, we can definitely, you know, shape shift everything that's been unfolded onto us. Again, gun violence should be the last option to anything. You didn't hear too many shootings of, you didn't hear too many gun violence situations back in the day where it stemmed from BS. You know, you really didn't get too much of that. If anything, the most you heard was, yeah, they had a fight. They had a big old fight about this, that, and the third. Now, we heard about shootings and stuff like that. That was because, again, that's part of that street game. People owing people money, or people out there hustling, grinding, and doing whatever it is they're doing, having issues with people, even other competitors. And this is how a lot of those shootings started. Yeah, there was some gang shootings and certain things along those lines. But even that right there, shouldn't that have to happen? Because when you're doing stuff like that, and you ain't taking into accountability who's around you, what you gonna do then? I ain't messing with you, Angel. Talking about something. Angel, I ain't messing with you. Go about your business. Oh man. It's a two-way street, man, in my opinion. Because again, we still need the real brothers to start coming to the table. Yeah, some of it is women, but some of it is men too. See, when you single parent households where, again, the mother is doing most of the raising, some of them boys are going to catch emotional traits because they are sitting there witnessing the person that gave them birth go through the ins and outs of things. But if everybody would learn again to just move accordingly and just move the righteous way, guess what? There's certain problems you won't necessarily have to deal with. One way to keep a community safe again is getting that gun violence down to a minimum. You have to. I shouldn't have to fear my child going outside, even if I let my child go out by themselves. I shouldn't have to worry about them possibly not coming home, me having to identify a body, or me having to come sit up there in the hospital for days on end because of whatever. Prime example, there are kids right now that don't, they don't indulge in the back and forth beef and all of the nonsense that we see some of these other ones are doing. And they end up being a victim. You shouldn't have to worry about that. Kid coming home from school shouldn't have to worry about getting jumped. Shouldn't have to worry about having to go against a whole squad of people. And see, that's the thing too. Your numbers is only for again ganging up and trying to destroy somebody. But it ain't ganging up to destroy the opposition that's really oppressing us right now. See, like I was telling somebody, man, you can't have selective anger and rage on certain things. You just can't. If you're gonna be angry about one thing, it should go all around the board. See, with me, I can call things down the middle because it's always gonna be that way. That's crazy. That's crazy, Agent. This is what I'm saying. Every place is different. See, for us, it's always the gun violence. Hence why we getting school shootings, playground shootings, even shootings that shouldn't happen. Movie theaters, a movie theater out of all places. Nobody shouldn't have to worry about that. I'm going to enjoy a movie with my family. I shouldn't have to worry about being exited out of a movie theater or possibly being a victim of a crime because people decide they want to bring even their ignorance to places where it's supposed to be fun. That's like you going to a water park and then you having a fight in the water park. Like, what are you fighting for? No, this is my thing. This is my thing all in all. Some of y'all are gonna have to start protecting your kids. Wanna know how you protect your kids? Again, being visual on everything and also being physical on everything. I watched a situation where a kid was being chased by three people. If his father, when that came out and stopped the shit from happening, who knows what they would have did to that kid? Because he looked like he was running for dear life. He looked like he probably had been running from the time he left wherever he was at. See, again, you have people that you have an argument, a disagreement with, and now everybody want to start ganging up on you for that. That's corny, emotional, immature stuff. And the reason why some of these kids are killing kids is because they are watching the same exact things that are happening with some of these quote unquote adults. They are out here doing all sorts of ill wills. And in the same token, look exactly what they're doing. It's showing you a prime example again why these repeated cycles will continue to happen. And it shouldn't be that way at all, honestly. I'll keep it a buck with you now. No kid should have to worry about possibly, you know, going to jail for life neither. And not to learn something, and even the simplest learning, like, I shouldn't have did this to begin with. I should have just left well enough alone. Sorry, but it's starting to become a chronicle issue right now. And some of it, not gonna lie to you, it is because of broken homes and broken communities. We know there's some issues where again we have single parents. Okay, ladies, I'm going to tell you this right now. For some of you that need to hear it, you got a dude that's in your life. You doing what he got to do, making sure the kids right. Let that man continue to be a father and let him be a part of his kid's life, whether y'all together or not. Because there's people who can co-parent again. This is a problem we have now. People are not co-parenting the right way. Shay, what's going on, baby? Again, in order for the family structure to get back to where it was at, even down to the protection level, yes, it must be a mother and a father in place. It has to be. Be safe on that road, baby. And that's the truth, Angel. Because again, we know it was some instances where, yeah, we know certain parents, they might have broke off. But then again, if they came to that conclusion of having a common ground for raising their kids, whether they're together or not, whether they've moved on with their lives or not, that's supposed to be the most important thing. We are always going to be tied together because, again, we both brought a special being into this world. We brought an offspring that could be the future generation to success in the family. Yeah, man, I'm in the city. You already. You hear all that noise and all that other shit. You already know. Surprised I ain't hear no fire trucks or nothing yet, but it's too cold for all that bullshit tonight. See, what am I getting at? I'm getting at the fact that, again, a family structure is only as strong as that man and that woman, especially that man and woman bringing a life into the world. Because again, when it's all said and done, it ain't just about y'all. It's about the future development of that child. Well, never mind. Spoke too soon. I did see a cop car. Somebody going to jail tonight, motherfucker. You know, this is my thing too with some people. You're gonna hear that. Well, why this one is following this one? Because they following what they like. Some of these youth are following exactly what they see every day. If I'm seeing somebody that's sitting on a corner from sun up to sundown, I'm gonna expect to start moving that way, or I'm gonna start to expect to be nosy and find out what it is they do and why they don't never do what I see other people do. I remember my mom's taught me that situation. Look here, my mom's taught me if any time you see certain things that just look abnormal, pay attention to it, and even if you feel you gotta do a little research, do your research. I'm sorry, but once you notice you see people every day and they sitting in these areas, they ain't producing nothing but just sitting around, whether they drinking, smoking, or just congregating amongst the other people. You know, 9 out of 10, they unemployed Floyds. Their employment is getting money through the streets. Yeah, no, I know that part, man. Listen, that part I already know. Um, it's about to get crazy, but it was already crazy because think about it. For those who got to get in the cabs, right? We already know those cab fares. They been went up. Them cab fares been up since shoot. I'm gonna say since the mid 2000s. A cab ride that used to be $20, $25 for me going from here to let's say a certain spot across town is triple that now. You paying damn near $100 to get from here to Queens in an Uber or a Lyft or whatever it is you take. It's crazy. For those who live in the city, you already know they just went up again, even though it's only 30 damn cents. But still, you went up almost to $6 for a ride, or $6 for two rides. Metro card fee and everything else going up. So yeah, this is why you getting certain issues right now. People still fare hiking and everything else, or they fare skipping. If that's what you want to call it. Well, you know, it's going to be some people who are going to be in the bound and the struggle that they can't get from point A to point B. And if you ain't giving them no options, the only option you're giving them is to commit a crime. Man, I'm aware of what's going on in the city only because I pay attention to shit, not just in the news. I pay attention to shit in general. Almost everywhere in the five boroughs, you will see that there's spots where they are building new buildings, condos, schools, everything else. But then there are other things they're building that they're trying to make New York City, which is already a destination spot for tourists and shit. They trying to make this an all year round thing to a degree. In certain areas, even in Brooklyn, you be like, what the hell are y'all trying to do? But I see what they're trying to do, trying to keep the revenue going all the way around. It's crazy. Court, what's going on, baby? You know, and again, you're gonna see spikes in crimes happening because if the parents is struggling, that means the kids are struggling. If some of these kids is coming from homes where there is no mother and father, and it's either the grandmothers or the uncles and them raising them, come on now. This is where you're gonna get the crime at because they see they struggling and they going through the struggles because this is the problem. This is why it's good to teach kids not just responsibility and accountability, but teach them that look, you're gonna have to accept no for an answer some days. It might be things that you really, really want. You're not gonna be able to get them. Now, if you feel you want to get them, get you a part-time job, get you some chores that you can do, or get you some errands that you can do. Shit, start back with the delivering newspapers and shit. There's still people right now I know that's setting out papers on people's store or doors and steps for daily news and shit like that. It's something. You know, again, teach these kids something valuable. Stop just teaching them words to the song. Stop teaching them how to just be out in the streets doing absolutely nothing. And if they're going to be in the streets doing something, let it be constructive. There's mothers and fathers right now that I know for a fact where some people would say, oh, they being too strict, they being too stern. No, they are giving a complete balance because they don't want their kids to fall down society. Again, there's some people who lived in my area who could have been in the NBA. They could have been notable names and all of that shit because they fucking skills was nice. You know what stopped them? Being in the streets, hanging with the wrong people. Especially when the drug era came into what it came into. Everybody was fiend bagging to get a piece of that pie. The destruction of your own community just to try to make yourself be above that, be above the poverty level. When in the old token, y'all still working for somebody. There's some people right now that go, oh yeah, I'm hustling, but you know, I gotta, yeah, I know, because you're not thinking on a level of doing for yourself. Now there's some who are doing for themselves, and again, you are completely destroying the balance of a community. I couldn't see myself being a hustler and I'm serving my boy mom some damn drugs. Couldn't do that. Because I couldn't fathom the fact if my mom's was here and if she was on drugs, somebody doing that to her. There's some of y'all again that a lot of your downfalls are gonna be because you so money hungry. Even down to your youth. Yes. You're gonna be money hungry and for what? We are all going through a struggle, whether you believe it or not. And it'd be nice if some of y'all would open your eyes and realize it. The ones who have to get up every day, break their backs, sweat hard, and do whatever just to get whatever, even the ones that work nights. There's some people I know right now got 3 jobs. You be like, well, damn, nigga, when you sleep? Shit, I had an ex-coworker that was like that. When he leave this job, he was going to JFK to do a security shit. When he was leaving from there, he was going to do some maintenance shit. There's some people who are going to keep jobs to keep themselves busy, and some of them are going to try to do what they do because They are trying to stack up what they feel they need to stack up for a rainy day, just in case, which should be prime option for a lot of y'all. At least having more than one sort of income. That's something that should be taught. That's why I'm saying there are community events that people don't go to, and these community events actually are educational, and they can actually save us a lot of time and effort. 702, what's going on, baby? Coming up in here, shadow hugging, baby. See, again, we might not want to hear it, but we're going to have to start accepting it. We have to start teaching from the ground up. The communities can't be broken no more. We already see that there's broken homes, and this is why some of these kids are acting out and even getting to a point of where they're getting to. Appreciate you, 702, baby. And this is my thing, though. We need to focus on the most important things right now. Better communication within the community. We can save and we could possibly stop a lot of the madness from happening. A lot of these children who are being abused and being hurt, and then they're going into the world spewing that hate and hurt, we can avoid all of that. We get the right people to sit down with them. They get the right type of treatment, the right type of therapy. You'll be surprised what we can get done. Court, I'm at work. You know damn well I can't bring no dog with me to work. If I could, I would. But he home, he's sitting up under his warm bed, chilling. He probably gonna be at that door waiting for me when I get home this morning. So it is what it is. But we got to be serious about that. How many more kids got to suffer? How many more families got to suffer and go through the tragedy and the tribulation before they find some sort of triumph? See, again, we have people who are fighting amongst each other and fighting against each other when we should be standing up together and really pushing this chain of oppression. Because again, there's certain things that affect not one, it affects everybody. I'm not going to repeat that again. It affects everybody. Drug use, that's another thing, affects everybody. It's bad enough these kids are trying to pop pills, doing lean, they doing stuff like that because they see some of the adults doing it, even coming down to what they seeing on social media. There's some of you adults who need to start making and doing better than what you're doing. Making better, shoot. You want to say it's a daily vlog for yourself? Make something better. Show the people that you can be successful and you don't have to flaunt it all the time. See, this is a reason why some of these crimes are happening now. We are losing certain performers. We losing certain people who are making a rise into the world because some of them are making that mistake. You want to be on these social media platforms and you flashing how much money you got, knowing that somebody could be in a dire position. And whether it's prop money or not, it doesn't matter. The minute you see something flashing against the screen and it's looking all enticing, it gives all the wrong ideas. See, with some people, they still with that notion of, I got to wear this on my neck just to prove to people I got money to do so. That's going to be a downfall for some of you. And we shouldn't have to sit back and keep allowing this stuff to happen. Really shouldn't. And I appreciate you, Shades. Try to do the best I can do, even when we got to go through specific madness. But like I said, I'm going into a new year with a clear head, and I'm still steamrolled. The ignorance that we do come across from time to time ain't going to be a thing of the past, too. We're going to show people exactly how to get rid of unnecessary cancers, especially those who don't know how to leave a grudge alone. Because again, a grudge will be your downfall. My mindset is always how it is. I go into a new year with a new goal and a new purpose. And I'm still trying to focus on the goals and purposes I'm trying to fix and correct now. The mindset again should be focusing on future growth, future prosperity, future education, and valuable education for those who need it. See, the one thing you can't allow is any type of deep seated hate to consume you. Once it consumes you, you're only focused on making sure that people you got issues with feel the same pain you feel. Look here, I done been through fallouts with people, not just on this app, but off this app. And not one time did I think to say, damn, I want to kill this person. Damn, I want to off this person. Damn, I want to make them feel as mad or as bad as I feel. But then again, I don't never feel bad. If you fell out with me 9 out of 10, that's because you ain't a person that should be around me. Period. Because I'm always still going to move the same way I move. Yeah, I might be brash at times. I might be stern and militant. But when I'm on a vision of really bringing a good conversation, I don't need no distractions. I don't need no what ifs. I definitely don't need nobody trying to hinder the process of what's going on. See, the best way to keep a balance within that is just knowing what to accept and what not to accept. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Who wants to really go through that system? That system don't do nothing but again hold you down in the worst light. You sitting here wasting almost 25 years of your life for something that you didn't necessarily have to do. And seeing within that time frame, you're going to learn a few things. But again, I feel that's the worst thing is when people go to jail to learn things. They could have had that same opportunity out here when they was free. See, even that right there will cause a distraction and even cause a fight to some people. Oh, what you mean no free this one, don't free this one? If this person didn't value themselves when they was out here and they didn't take that time and that energy to learn anything when the people was trying to give them something, how can you say freedom? I can't say free somebody I know for a fact is a known murderer. You done murdered more than one person. I was supposed to say free you? No. You need to learn your lesson and be away from the community because you're a danger to everybody else. Where was going on, my guy?
What up, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. Yeah, it was a good talk, man. I was listening in. There's a couple points you made. But I want to say something when you was talking about the kids, though.
Yeah.
And because everyone doesn't, have a two-parent household or whatever. But what you need to do, put your kids around the right people. I got a friend. She in the same sex marriage, right? Her wife has a daughter. She has a son, but she bring her son around me. And she a good mother, but she even told me, she says there's some things I can't teach him. So cool. She bring her daughter around, and she tells her daughter, because her daughter is 12. She tells her daughter, you need to watch how they interact. This is how a man's supposed to treat a woman, because they don't have that to show them. But she's putting them around people, and it's just not me. But that's what community is. It might not be your next door neighbor, but find people who can have a positive impact on your children. And it can show them things that maybe you can't. Sometimes it's sometimes kids feel more comfortable talking to people outside their parents. So you being able to select the right person that won't take advantage of your child is important too, because they go tell somebody. So why not have the right people around them? If they can't talk to you, they should be able to talk to somebody. It can be a cousin, a friend, a brother. Just But that's what community is. So is putting the right people around.
Nah, you know what? And you absolutely hit a point on that because it's the truth, bro. Like, see, prime example, like even with some of us coming up, right? Our teachers was if they prime example with me, I couldn't do as much as I thought I wanted to because damn near every teacher in every school I went to at some point knew my mom's one way or another. Some of them actually went to school with her. Was like, well, look, you know your son up in. So it was certain shit I already knew I wasn't going to be able to do. But then again, she always put me around the right people too. Like that's the one thing. She put me around the right people. And shit, I had people on my father's side that shoot, they would man, listen, they'd grab me up in the heartbeat. Yo, look here, let me learn you something, youngin. But it was not in a sense where it's like, oh damn, he about to get roughed up. No. It might have seemed like it, but then they turn around and be like, look here, I see what you're doing, and I'm gonna just let you know this ain't the right way to go. Let me show you something that could possibly be beneficial with you at some point in life. That's how it's supposed to be though, bro. Like you get the right people around because yeah, there is some things that you're not going to be able to teach. A woman is not going to be able to teach a man, and a man is not going to be able to teach a woman. But if you get the right people around, shoot, you'll be surprised how much exactly will get done. They will actually start having more of a rapport. Like, you know what? I see why you go hard the way you go hard. And that'll make them even respect them more. Like, because some of these kids ain't respecting their parents unless their parents is really putting shit in check.
Yeah, we had a and then that whole I tell people this too. With this whole community thing, man, if you ain't in a good environment, find ways to put yourself in a better one. Because I mean, one person, one individual, you can't prevent. Like I'm just speaking from personal experience, like my old hood. I don't know how it is in New York, but we got blocks, right? So
Yeah.
even when I got myself together, I tried to stay where I grew up at, and it just wasn't happening, because of the environment. Now people respected me because they know I'll pop off, but I can't police everything and everyone. And if it's just me, then I become a plate. So, to make change in the community, you need cooperation from components, from other people. And if you ain't got that, put yourself in a better environment. You got to start thinking about that because the stuff like you said, the gun violence and stuff, it ain't gonna stop unless two things happen: we stop it or we get away from it. And everybody ain't equipped to go stop it themselves or prevent things. It is just the easier solution. Is to put yourself in a better environment. And I know it's hard because I had to do it. It ain't just easy to move, to pick yourself up, but it's necessary. I'm just being real. I mean, these neighborhoods now, man, like I went back into my old neighborhood last weekend.
Yeah.
Man, it ain't no saving that. It ain't no helping that. And I feel bad for like the older people because they ain't got, I know one lady, both her sons died and they was from out of town. And
Mhm.
when her sister died, she literally said, I ain't got no family. I've been trying to help her get in a senior home. Like 6 years ago, I was trying to help her get in a senior home, got all the paperwork done. She ain't want to leave because she owned her house. Well, her house got broken into 6 times after that. Don't nobody care. Ain't nobody go help her. But I mean, that's what her choice is. But what you're saying is right. I mean, but this is the sad thing. If it's not a group of people coming together trying to make change in the community, it ain't gonna happen. Man. One person
Yeah.
ain't gonna be able to do it. So I mean, you gotta look at your options and people. You just gotta do what's right for you. You're in a bad environment. You gotta get out of it.
Nah, that's a fact because see, this is the thing. Like I said, there's some communities that it might be bad right now, but guarantee you, if the right people get along, come together, and actually, stand on business. And my Ti son voice, stand on business. Like shoot, a lot of the neighborhoods could be salvaged. A lot of those neighborhoods could actually get back to that growth where it was at before. Like I said, it seemed like almost everybody dropped the ball some way, somehow. And instead of picking it up the right way, I want to pick it up the wrong way. You know what? Instead of teaching these kids a valuable lesson on this, we're going to teach them how to get into this. So this way, this will be their downfall. Hold on. Keith, what's going on, my guy?
And see, it's something I learned that I didn't know. Um, the race riots of the '80s. I thought that just happened in Detroit, but it happened a lot of different places. Even in my hometown, I didn't know until my uncle was telling me about it. He was like, "We had a race riot down here," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, in the beginning of the '80s, uh, when black people stopped owning little stores and stuff, and stopped owning their houses, that's when everything went down, bro. We don't own nothing. When you don't own nothing, you just visit it, and it's hard to fight for something that's not yours. People stop taking care of stuff because they don't own nothing. I mean, that's just my opinion. I just noticed when people don't own stuff, like when we had people on the block who was renting, they ain't take care of it. But when people was on the block owning, they took care of it. Yeah, to get back to the ownership.
Facts. That's why I said it, in certain instances, it's good to try to teach these kids, even that's coming up now, not just the value of a dollar, but teach them how to, teach them how to grow all together, man. Because guess what? In that long run, you want to have your own kids. You don't want your kids going through the same struggles to a degree like you went through. And if you know you can give them a blueprint to where they can avoid some of that, why not give it to them? So I'm
I'm
saying that
teaching.
some of these.
Oh
Oh no,
my
you
bad.
good,
Go
bro.
ahead. No, I was about to say soon, like 7 years old, I'm teaching my son entrepreneurship. Teach him how to own, how to develop business plans. You want to sell some lemonade, you want some money? Well, this is how you do it. And teach them that when they're young, so when they get older, it'll be innate almost. It'll be a habit. It won't be something foreign they just not learn. We got to prepare our children. I don't think it's done enough. I'm not going to say we because I do it, my family do it. But we have to prepare them. People talk about when they're 18, they leave the house, they grown. That's in American culture. In other cultures, they don't leave until they get married. Why? Because they preparing. They prepping them the whole time. We got to start preparing our children to be successful, not in school, but in life. School only prepare them to work. We got to teach them all the necessities for them to be able to to be a productive adult. They should be learning financial literacy at a younger age. So when they get old enough in charge of their own finances, they already know. No one taught me about interest rates and uh, how to pay the principal on a credit card and none of that stuff. I had to learn it on my own. My parents didn't even tell me, and they good with money, but it wasn't something taught in the household. So I'm making sure I teach that.
Nah, and that's the best way to do it. See, things that you wasn't taught, or things that wasn't a thing, when you have your own, that's how you're supposed to do it. Like this is why I'm saying the informational ladder is supposed to go from generation to generation. Guess what? The father and the mother is supposed to be passing that knowledge to their children, and then their children are supposed to pass it on to their children's, and so on and so forth. See, like I already knew about credit cards, credit scores, and stuff like that before I turned 20. Shit, before I turned 16. The way I used to see my mom sometimes, like, why these motherfuckers are still sending this shit here? Like, well, damn, what you spazzing for? Then you be like, oh, credit card, okay. Like, and that's why she was like, look at, you don't necessarily know anything about this, don't get into it. Shit, when I was when I was 15, they was trying to send me credit cards and shit. Oh, I'm like, look at y'all niggas. Like, look at y'all. But again, I can see where it was going to a degree. Now, see, if I knew more and more about like the credit then to a degree from what she already taught me, it kind of deterred me from not doing credit. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have this damn issue. So let me just wait off on that. But if I'd have known what I known then, I probably would have been the youngest one with a damn credit card going crazy. But then again, I'd have been having to worry about, damn, how I'm gonna pay this off. So, on the same token, you gotta give people responsibilities, and you definitely need to teach them the responsibilities about anything, credit, shit. Even down to money again, because sometimes when credit don't work, you're gonna have to use money. And if you ain't got a certain amount of money to do what you need to do or do what you think you can do, you basically start from the bottom. You're gonna be scratching and scraping for what? When you could have been past all of that.
And Keith, what up though? Appreciate you, bro. And I know it's difficult, to teach our kids these things that we learn when we older, because they're not interested. But that's our job too. We got to stop using that as a cop out. Our job is to teach our children, flat and simple. We got to be more creative in understanding how to communicate information to them. It don't matter if it's hard. I don't mean we're supposed to avoid it because if we don't, somebody else will sink their clothes into them and teach them their way. And we already know how that goes.
Yeah, that's a whole fact. Like if you got the wrong people, prime example, teaching you about credit and stuff, you'll mess around and think, all right, shit, I can give me two credit cards and then this is that and third. But then again, if you ain't got no real income to pay the max balance or pay that balance off the way you're supposed to, you're gonna set yourself up for more debt. So now, like I said, it's interest being added on for every time you don't pay that full balance or that full minimum. So why set yourself up for that? You know, I
Yeah,
don't.
my bad.
No, I'm full. I'm shit. I'm over here multitasking. I thought these fools left another area open. I'm still at work, so y'all gotta be extra on it. But no. But that's the same thing. Like I was saying, you know, the community definitely has broken away from the traditions because yeah, when we knew it was, when we knew it was shit that wasn't happening the way it was supposed to happen as far as parents and shit was concerned, we had the communities that was backing up everything. All right, well look, uh, this one can't watch this one, but we all could watch this one. We make sure this kid ain't doing what they supposed to be doing. That's what I'm saying. Even down to like the normal one. Man, listen, we make sure this one ain't doing what it. Yo, I think your child might be getting in trouble. Like we don't even got that no more because everybody is minding their business. Oh, it ain't mine, so it don't mean nothing. It should mean something because again, you wouldn't want nobody, especially somebody that claim they got respect and love for you, to allow your kids to go down that path. So again, you got to come back to that notion of standing together, no matter what the fucking cost is. We have to.
And see, what I noticed too, like when I was younger, I was in Pennsylvania. We had that community aspect, and a lot of the people in there was family or either close friends, people we grew up together with. And when I moved to Detroit, it was still like my stepdad family, some of his friends, but it wasn't like it was in Pennsylvania. And then just nowadays, you see a kid doing something, you correct them, now you're arguing with the parent. So I think it's we as people, we not personable no more. People like I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, bro. Like I live in a nice area, right? And even like my neighbors, they say something if my son throw a rock over the fence or something. I don't mind them, correcting or nothing. But I know them. I've been around them. But there's other people around that I don't know, and I don't feel comfortable, with them even talking to my son. So I can see where issues come, especially how creepy and weird people are nowadays. So again, like I was saying, you got to get around the right people, like-minded people. We need to build our community. You know what I'm saying? Start building the community. Start, and it don't have to be your neighbor, somebody living next to you, but you need to have those conversations with friends and family. Like, look, I got a child. Takes a village to raise them. I need y'all to help me out. Look out. Say it. Make people aware. Hey, this is what I'm saying. Versus just expecting it or thinking because they family or friends they supposed to do it. Nah, put everybody on game. Wake everybody up. Shake everybody up. This is what we supposed to be doing. We about to do this shit. I'm gonna look out for yours. You look out for mine, and we good.
Nah, that's a whole fact, bro. Um, and see, that's the thing. We didn't necessarily have to do all of that back in the day. Shit, Listen, we didn't have to open our mouths but so much. Once the families was already intact and in sync about what's going on, it was already all right. Well, we know what it is. We just going to do it this way. Because again, you know you had them common uncles that literally be on your neck like, yeah, all right. You ain't gonna have my sister crying. You ain't gonna have my brother crying up here. Like, look at whatever you doing, I advise you to stop it. I will be watching. Like, and that's what it needs. More watchful eyes. And yeah, what you were saying is true. It's a hit and miss situation because we got creepy motherfucking adults, men and women, that are preying on the kids. But see, this is why I say as a community, we start being more vigilant and literally start putting our boots on the ground with shit. We can eliminate some of that. Because if we know these people ain't out to do nothing but hurt ours, nah, them niggas gotta go. They gotta go, regardless of how you may feel. They have to go because they're gonna be a continuous poison. And then who feels safe? It's bad enough again. Yeah, some of these kids don't feel safe even coming outside because of the gun violence. But then now you gotta be more scared because you got creeps on that type of like. Nah, gotta stop that. Gotta
See,
come
even
back
that,
together, yo.
you gonna need people. You know what I'm saying? You gonna need people to actually link up and come together and be willing to watch each other back because once you come together and say something, and y'all go y'all individual ways, now you can be individually targeted. So you have to you need a group of people. Like so what people need to start doing is start talking to your neighbors. Start having those conversations. Um, because if you don't, I mean you just go keep dealing with the same thing. But if you talk about coming together, everybody gotta be on one accord because as an individual I can do what I can do, but now I'm dealing with I don't know if it's a gang or you know what I'm saying, like the group of people versus me. Like that, you have to like me and my neighbors had to understand it. You watch my back, I watch yours. We had a signal, the flicker of the light mean help. You know what I'm saying? They flick the front porch light or the side light, then I know something wrong. So I mean, you have to communicate because even after you say something, you go back to your own. I told that story when they set my neighbor house on fire. It was like these. I had just moved out the hood, and
Yeah.
my mom called me and was telling me like, I ain't gonna say his name, but his house on fire. I'm like, what about to come? She said, don't come down here, stay there. And I said, why? She said the boys next door did to him. Well, it was these dudes who ended up renting a house, one of the houses on our block, and they were selling weed out the house. So the neighbor used to call and complain about never told the cops that they were selling weed, but they'd be playing music like 3, 4 in the morning, and it's like driveway is splitting, separating the houses. So it was keeping them up. So he called the police a couple times. Well, the last time he called the police and complained about the noise, they smelled the weed, went in the house and arrested some people. Later on that night, his house caught on fire. They put his house on fire.
See, and that's the crazy part about it. But see, then again, that's the problem too. That's why I said some people gotta, they really need to sit down within their neighborhoods, within they, and get that talking. Because again,
Yeah.
some of these situations we see when, like how you just said, you know, at 3, 4 in the morning, I don't care if you are up and you playing music, but have a respect level. Like at a certain time, you should already know it. That's noise pollution. And this is why we get some of these fights right now between neighbors. Like we having issues like that now to some degree. There's some people right now, damn near fighting almost every day. Oh, I'm tired of this motherfucker playing music all hours of the night. I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that. But if you haven't addressed anything from Jump Street, and especially like a face to face, what you expect? Like, but then again, if somebody get called to your residence because you're being a disturbance, that should tell you something. Let me just chill the fuck out on what I'm doing. Again, I done had people playing music 3 in the morning in my building, and I would never know it because they kept they damn once they all right. I know people probably sleeping.
People got school, work in the morning. Some people probably already getting up to go to work for the night shifts and shit like that. All right, I'm gonna have the respect level. Before my cousin moved from off my block from down the damn hallway, that nigga used to be having parties almost every weekend. From Friday to Monday, it was a party in this damn house. But guess what? At a certain time, you didn't even hear the music. And the music would be loud when you walk in the crib. But as soon as you close that door, you didn't hear shit else. Yeah, because it was a respect level. All right, I know there's people up here sleeping, especially some of the older ones, you know, and he wasn't having too much of that in and out the house shit. Once you was in the house, that was it. Unless you had to go to the store or something, you was in the house.
And see,
You
they
know,
was
so it's
doing it
like,
on purpose. My bad.
uh,
I was saying they was doing it on purpose too because they was in the driveway, like right where the driveway separate the houses. It was their
yeah.
driveway, but his room was in the back, so they pull in the driveway, play the music. They was antagonizing, and it's messed up because the dude. And when I was staying there, I kept everything kind of cool, and that's the reason they did it because they know they can get away with it. Like people only do things they know they can get away with. When nobody gonna stop them, when no consequence. Like these people ain't scared of police, bro. They live in jail, you know. So like just these, like when you say cancer nuisance, to be honest, they was. But I'm the only dude on the block, and I got a lot. Like I got a job and all this. Like I would have had to really, really, uh, it would have been war between us. And I'm looking at it like they ain't bothering me. And I got a lot to lose, but I'm not just about to let him mess with this man. He was like almost 60 years old. So I went down there and I kept it cool. It was cool for 2 months. They was respectable. As soon as I moved, like literally the first night I stayed away, all that stuff happened. They did that because they knew it wasn't no consequence. Like wasn't gonna be no type of adversity. You still there, bro? Am I
Yeah, I'm
still
here.
there? Or am I
Yeah, no,
in?
no, I'm still here. I
Okay,
had to
my
mute real quick. I had the wind tunnel, man. I couldn't even hear myself at one point. Susanna, what's going on, baby? No, but it's the sad part about it, though, because again, nobody should have to worry about, you know, I'm doing something that I know is right, and you got a problem with it. But then again, you don't see the problem of having consideration. Like, and that's the problem now. That's one thing that we have lost as a community is consideration for everybody's feelings. But we also just lost the period. Like, it should just be common sense. At a certain time, prime example, if I know I've been playing music throughout the day, whether I'm unemployed for it or not, at a certain time, I'm shutting my music down. Or I'm gonna turn it down to the lowest value because I gotta think about the people around me. Not gonna sit here and just continue to do stuff. And this is why we get certain issues where neighbors are always fighting because you have these inconsiderate neighbors that feel they don't have to stop doing something. But at some point, you do cause some of that unnecessary ignorance and violence because you're not trying to even listen to reason.
yeah, man. I
Commander, what's
remember.
going on, baby? Moot moot.
When me and my wife first got married, we was in an apartment and we had it out with the lady upstairs. She came down and said, "Would y'all stop effing? I hear y'all every night. I don't want to hear that." Told her to turn TV on. My wife bought her a Bluetooth speaker. She got
Yeah.
mad and threw it. She got mad and threw it up the patio. Like, 'cause she was above. My wife bought it for her, put it by her door. And we was chilling outside one day. We just see the speaker come down and break. Pow! Mhm. He was mad as hell. But yeah, let me jump down, bro. My wife, she texting me right now.
Nah, no doubt, bro. You already know, son. You appreciate you for popping in. You're always more than welcome. You already know that, bro.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying though. You got to get back to consideration, y'all. The consideration, a lot of times, that will save a lot of unnecessary madness and ignorance for real. Shout out to Brother Word for popping in on the panel tonight. Link is pinned in case anybody else want to chime in. I ain't gonna be too crazy on this all night, but there are certain ways again that we can avoid a lot of the damage and destruction that's happening now. Again, some people have to learn to start being more considerate and not just the people's feelings, but respect certain boundaries. Okay, you want to play your music throughout the day, that's all bread and gravy. But at a certain time, you should be able to cut that music down. Because again, it's not just adults that are sleeping, you got kids that are sleeping. And some kids actually get woken up out they sleep and they hear loud ass music at 2, 3, 4 in the morning when they still supposed to be in a little sleep. Like, come on now. I done seen some situations that, yeah, as much as people don't want to have to call or get authorities involved, they had to because these people was refusing to stop doing certain shit. You know, and again, you're supposed to know who your neighbors are, and especially if them neighbors are new into the area. Look here, um, welcome to the neighborhood, yada yada yada. Let me get a chance to really get a chance to know you and see where your head is at, because again, there's certain things that you should have consideration for. You think I should be having a loud ass block party or what sounds like a block party at 3 in the morning? Nah, that's not the way to go. And again, this is why we are getting situations that we seeing now, even to the point of neighbors killing neighbors. Because at some points, look, I done sat here and been nice. I done sat here and did this, but we keep having the same issue. And again, I still feel it shouldn't have to come to that route. But again, some of y'all need to learn to start being better neighbors. Like prime example, I know somebody who was going through it recently, kept on, you know, the neighbors next door, they done put their damn big ass flat screen TV and they surround system right on the wall. And then following apartment, that person is getting disturbed because the minute they turn the TV on, whether it's playing the game or watching a movie, you're hearing that shit vibrate and thump throughout the room. That will drive somebody mad, especially those who worked hard during the day and want to come home and go to sleep. And at certain times in the morning, you should have a respect level because you wouldn't want nobody disturbing yours at a certain time, or you wouldn't want nobody disturbing your peace and balance at a certain time. So why do some of y'all feel y'all could just do the same thing? I'm sorry, but we got to start really building and bringing the right people together. And that's what we're going to continue to do with these convos. At some point, we will bring the right people together in the right communities, and will be a change of things to come. We will definitely make that change when it's needed. And if the people feel like they can't be a part of it, then look, it's two options. For some, yeah, y'all neighborhoods is damaged. Y'all gonna have to get up, buy some land, and restart another community. There's others that could reclaim and redeem everything going on in their community, but you have to be a part of that fight on all angles. You have to. We don't have to necessarily like each other or agree with each other on everything, but we should be able to come together and agree that some of these things that are damaging us is going to be the main thing that will continue to damage us and keep us down. So why not try to uplift each other up out of that? And you might not want to hear it, but you're going to have to accept that notion. Yeah, things don't change overnight, but it shouldn't take forever neither to try to make these things happen. Because again, essentially, it is about the generations coming behind. They're gonna be here longer than we are. They're gonna continue that life cycle. So they need to know the right things, the right blueprints. There's common grounds for that. You see, again, when there's a lot of you that are holding grudges and you also just being inconsiderate to things, you're gonna keep having this cycle that will never be broken. So again, I could sit here and go all night with this because I can, but I won't. See, I know when to break things down and when to come back to it. This was a part of part one. It's gonna be multiple series on this. Might get different views and opinions from people, especially those who are living proof of what's going on around them. Chocolate drip drop, baby. You know, and that's what I'm saying. You got to start seeing value in everything. You know, you got to see the value in everything. You have to. You can't sit here and think that by you destroying the community, that's making it better for you. It's not making it better. If anything, it's making it worse. Because again, there are some things that can be fixed. Again, the right people have to get together. And not even just that notion of it. You have to stay together. I don't care if you don't like me. If we come together to make sure these kids ain't victims of any type of sexual crimes, if we making sure that these kids are actually learning something in these school systems that ain't being taught, if we're going along the lines of making changes that are supposed to be the greatest changes, why should our personal issues stop us from doing that? I'm good, Chocolate. Hopeful as usual. Trying to keep my ass warm as possible. For those that get in the city, please make sure your ass is covered up. I can tell it's going to be a cold winter in the next couple of weeks. I already start to feel it in my bones. Again, you got to have that love and compassion for each other. And again, we need to stand up for each other. And we need to stand up with each other. See, even if I had my own kids right now at this juncture, I would still be saying and implementing the same damn things. Oh yeah, it's cold as hell, Shay. I think it's like 30-something degrees now. It feel like it's 30. I didn't even look at my thing yet, and I refuse to do so. I know we definitely in the low 50s. Shit, I ain't even saying 50s because that was this morning. We probably about in the 30s right now. Some who probably heard some of the wind in the background. Like I said, you already know it's the workflow as always. You know, again, but we need to take a stand on things that we teach and how we go about moving the chain forward. Again, nobody should have to ever worry about their kids possibly not coming home or not being home for those next few days or weeks because of violence committed against them on any level. Doesn't matter if it happened from kids within their age or it happened from adults. Because there are some adults who are doing the dumbest things, and then guess what? Who are the innocent victims behind everything? The kids. I hear you, Shay. Shoot. Yeah, for those, again, it doesn't matter where you at. For those who know they get that whole thing of winter, make sure y'all keeping yourselves together, man. Another thing that I feel is making our communities not as safe, and even the people within the community safe, is the lack of shoot, the lack. Yeah, can't even say that because we kind of lack that already. We lack not just communication, we really lack human compassion. Do you think it's right for me to try to laugh at somebody or poke fun at somebody or even try to look down at them if I know for a fact they're trying to do something that they feel works for them and that they feel could be beneficial? No.
Main thing, I'm supposed to be encouraging that. Look here, this is what you want to do. All right, well, hey, hopefully everything does go well for you. If you need the help or you need this, is that, and third, we here for you. See, again, we used to come together for every little damn thing. We don't come together no more. We'll come together for free shit. We'll come together for fuck shit. But we won't come together to help construct shit. Don't let that ball go over your head. It is really time for a lot of the people with enough common sense and decency to start banding together. And just like Word says the truth, one person can't do everything, but a group of people can make everything happen and everything worth it. Another thing I feel is making us unsafe in our own communities and is making the people unsafe, in my opinion, is the lack of health care, the lack of, mental health care on top of that. There's some people who are running around committing crimes. And guess what? Some of them are committing crimes because, again, they suffer from the worst type of mental psychosis and everything else. And it's the truth. We'll come together when it's something free, a free event, free before 12 and all this other shit. We won't come together to really say, you know what, let's put these damn programs in motion. Like I said last summer, shoot, even this past summer, one of the parks in my area, yeah, there was a whole bunch of kids, but there was a whole bunch of adults. And the event that was going on, they was teaching these kids something about credit. They was also teaching them something about how to use certain things as far as the internet was concerned. They was giving a little bit of everything, awareness. And even though some of the kids was just in playtime, the rest of them was sitting there learning. So again, you're going to have those who want to learn. They're going to sit down, they're going to learn, and they're going to listen. You're going to have those that they still going to be on playtime and they're going to miss out on the most important key factors. And that's the thing. There's things that we know for a fact we still don't have full information on. And we need to start studying on that. Because again, who knows what can happen when we long gone from it. Again, got to start valuing the things that need to be valued. And everything that don't need to be valued, put it away. I can't have a valued conversation about an argument. I can have a valued conversation about something that we could do to change our community, change the kids, change the welfare of the kids. I can't have no intellectual talk when it's just nonsense and foolery going on. We ain't gonna never get nowhere. And the more we keep hating each other, the more we keep disbanding, the more division is gonna happen. And the best way to keep your community safe on all accords, even on here, is just being mindful and watchful of what you saying and don't. Because your actions are going to definitely speak louder than anything. The key thing to remember is always thinking. You might think that this is one way to get rid of a problem, but it might not necessarily be the key way to get rid of a problem. You got to treat life like how you treat math problems. There are some math problems that you get, and you'll be surprised. Half of those math problems, even if it's broken down a certain way, it'll still come down to the same answer. And our same answer should be, we need to get it together for the future. That's the thing. There are certain things, you right on that, Chocolate, is the truth. There's a lot of them who, and I'm going to say people-wise, there's a lot of people who have banded together and still sticking together even into old age. Because once there's a certain bond there, once there's unity there, once y'all all have that same thing and notion on trying to make the best change, oh yeah, you're going to follow protocol. You're all going to follow the same protocol because, again, no one person is above the other. We all moving as a unit, and we all supposed to continue to move like a unit. I shouldn't feel like we moving together, we building together, but then I feel I gotta be ahead of everybody. Man, listen, I'm the motherfucking king on this shit. You ain't gotta do that. See, like even prime example, I can use this as a prime example. My channel is what it is. I'm not gonna be bringing all that drama and all that unnecessary yada yada going back and forth, especially with people I don't know personally. The people that know me personally know I don't even go back and forth with some people. I'm not doing that. If I gotta go back and forth with you, that means we're gonna have to fight at some point. And I don't even want to go to that because again, we already know how it's gonna be. Because if something happens, you take the loss, you're gonna feel a type of way. So I don't waste my time arguing to a degree. But see, the ego, that will be your downfall. If you got a good ego as far as this is how you feel about things and this is the way things are moving and you feel happy about it, all right, you're supposed to have that little confidence. Supposed to have that little celebration. Like, all right, things are actually moving along. But then still be humble at the same token. Because the same way things can come together for you, it can fall apart for you. You not being humble on it. Chocolate chop, that's the truth though. You know, again, I allow this platform to be what it is. A safe zone for everybody to come through, chill, have a grown-up conversation. Yeah, we're going to get some laughs and some whatever in between that. And sometimes we get some ignorance. But nonetheless, I still make sure that this is what it is. A safe-knit community where everybody can be themselves. You can voice your views and opinions. I'm not going to chew your head off. And if anything, when I do drop the link or when the link is pinned, I always enjoy the people coming up and bringing up something good. It's not just helping with the content. It's also showing people that, again, we have people who coming from different parts of the tracks, they want to see something happen. They want to see something magnificent happen. Nobody want to keep going through the same old drama and the mellow madness all day, every day. I'm not going to be waking up every day to make content about somebody that I don't personally know, probably personally will never meet and don't give a fuck about. Because it wouldn't be the same way. But then again, we don't even know. We don't know because we done seen some shit in here. And at some points, you know, people have to do what they gotta do sometimes. Other than that, I'm gonna keep this the way it is. We're gonna have conversations. And some of these conversations might be hard hit. Some of these conversations might actually trigger some people. And it's not my intent to trigger nobody, don't get it twisted. But I'm gonna have these talks because again, it will bring some sort of peace, closure, and healing. I've always believed in that. And if we don't get through these damn trials and tribulations, we ain't gonna get to no real triumph at all. D Truth, what's going on, my guy? Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. If y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know, this is what I'm saying. Some of y'all adults are gonna have to really start being adults and thinking like adults because the things you say and do, even on here, the kids do end up watching it at some point. The kids do come across that. And if they seeing that you're moving so immaturely and so emotionally, you're only teaching them that that's the way you're supposed to move in life. No, not everything deserves a reaction. And there's some things you can't put emotions into because then you'll start getting into personal feelings. You know what the sad part about it is, Keith? You right about that. But let you say it to somebody that don't want to hear that. What they gonna tell you? Oh, nigga, you don't know what you're talking about. You just saying whatever just to say whatever. No, it's the truth. Y'all don't want to have conversations that are gonna make us think and that's gonna make us actually bring something to the forefront. Y'all rather have conversations that's gonna keep us on a divisional tactic. And look here, this is something that we're not gonna do, at least over here. No doubt, Chocolate. Appreciate you, baby. We go catch the replay, baby. Link is pinned again in case anybody want to chime in on the topic, but not going to hold y'all butt for so long. But I did mostly want to get this out again. And this will be a part 2 at some point. It could be this weekend. You never know. But we need to start really coming together to the table and putting ideas together. I don't care if you're the richest or the poorest. I've seen poor people come together and put something together that they didn't think could happen. Why? Because they was humble, they had strong faith, and they had the grit and determination to not quit. That's what we need to start bringing. That notion of not quitting. It's another reason why we have the downfalls we have. Again, we have to bring back a self-love that we once had. We need to. If we're not bringing that, we're not basically saying anything, and we're not bringing nothing. So how can we get upset when the kids don't learn nothing? If we're not going to be a part of breaking that bridge, we need to knock down that bridge of destruction, and we need to knock down that bridge of division and rebuild a bridge of communication, love, and self-worth. Now, I already know, bro. You're already more than welcome. You already know that. Like I said, I'll probably do this part 2 this weekend, depending on what my schedule will look like work-wise. But I want to make sure I'm not having to worry about too much of anything when I'm speaking to the people. You're going to have some people who are going to come, they're going to build. And you're going to have some that come and do whatever, and then they're going to leave. See, I can say this. This channel is completely different. You're more than welcome to be in here. More than welcome to be a part of the building and the growth. But if this ain't the content for you, you can kindly keep it moving too. Because again, there's some people, even off of this app, that won't come together for nothing outside of negative. Not coming around a bunch of people and we ain't doing something constructive at some point. That's like me leaving my house to go sit in somebody else's house all day. And that whole time I was sitting in somebody's house, I could have been out and about making things happen. We both sitting around missing out on blessings or missing out on lessons. Life lesson to remember again is that, yeah, even when things seem tough and it seems like there's no hope, there's always going to be a shining glimmer of hope right around that corner. Keith, listen, see, this is where some people mess themselves up at. When you come in here and you just come in here on that notion, and I'm just speaking to some content creators. When you've already come in the door with beefing and scratching and kicking and doing everything else to get your clicks up, to get your subs up and do everything else, even if you think to change your stripes, once you do decide to change them, mostly everybody is not going to be around for it. When you start bringing actual content that means something, they ain't going to be around for it. They only going to want to be around when there's juicy gossip and tea or when there's some sort of beef and buffoonery. I ain't got time for that. And again, so it's always going to separate me because, again, I don't have time to be going back and forth with people I don't know personally and probably will never meet. So what the fuck is that doing for me? It ain't none of them people putting no money in my pockets, paying my bills, or doing none of that. So why the hell would I have to worry about any of that? It's true. If you coming in the door and you doing something, you pretty much stick to what you do. See, if I would have decided, for example, to go into a route of beefing, trolling, or doing some other dumb shit that I know for a fact I stand against, how much you would have bet it been 100,000 subs on it, and this chat would have been more than 100 people in here flooding up. That's what I'm saying. I can't knock people for their preferences. It is what it is. I know my preference right here is bringing the best content and just bringing the real spit that we need. We get tired of that. I gotta wake up almost every day, even not just on here. You wake up almost every day, you check certain apps and you check certain things, and the first thing you see is some sort of destruction, some sort of beef, argument, fight over a bunch of nothing. See, this is the truth though. This is constant truth though. There's some things you're gonna have to actually do research on. You might actually have to require to do some sort of whatever. Then there's others that ain't gotta do much. It don't take talent to sit there and just talk to people. If you know how to have a verbal conversation with the people in your own hood, what makes you think you can't have the same verbal conversation with the people out here in these communities or these social media apps? Now again, there gonna be some people who leave this fold, and I feel them leaving already. But only thing I can tell you is, may God bless you on whatever journey, and hopefully you find whatever it is that you're looking for. I don't got time to be holding grudges against people. And despite being raised by the mother more than anything, there was just some things I knew for a fact I would never be able to just do. I'm wired different. Lexi, what's going on, baby? Coming out shadow hugging, baby. No, this is the one thing I will always still be adamant on. Even if I feel I gotta walk away for a certain time frame to just keep myself in order, I will do so. See, I'm showing people again a blueprint. Sometimes, even when you out and about amongst your flock, sometimes you gotta detach from them as well. And it's not nothing bad, but sometimes you're gonna have to do so, especially if you feel you're in a weird spot. Because guess what? If you're moving a certain direction and most of these people are looking for you to continue to move in that direction, it's not just about you and them. It's about if you're going to continue to move and make the right movements. Now, if you got people that essentially just want to see you beefing and fighting all day, again, those are the type of people you want to be around. See, in all actuality, I would say this: grown men are never supposed to hold grudges. But there's some grown men, but I can't even call you grown if you still holding a grudge. If you ain't let that shit go by now, you need to start letting it go. I could have held the grudge against I could have held the grudge against my father for some things that was unanswered. What would have done that? What would have done for me? Nothing. Nothing at all. I can't beef and bitch about it because you're gone. And it's not like you can answer me directly. So again, I gotta let certain shit go. That's exactly how I had to do it. This is just me personally speaking. There's a lot of things that you want to hold a grudge against, you can't. And I never was able to hold a grudge. I just kept the mental note on certain things. I just know if I had a fallout with you over something, and especially if it was something I didn't really do at all, you was the problem, not me. So I know to keep away from people like you. You know, I watch and I observe, even while being observed. Don't let that ball go over your head. There's places that you can be yourself truly, and there are places where you're gonna have to just keep a mellow tone about certain things. We understand that, especially if you're trying to feel certain things out. See, I ain't coming to this shit not being anything but myself. I ain't coming here with no notion to disturb any balance I feel ain't being disturbed. But mine won't be disturbed either. No, again, when you manifest that energy to not go to something that's definitely humbling, something that's definitely gonna keep you on the up and up, becomes a problem. If your energy is solely just to destroy one person or a couple people you had issues with, you basically destroying yourself. You're stressing yourself out because you're trying to figure out ways and methods to try to stop something. But there's just some things you're gonna have to remember too. You're not gonna be able to stop greatness when greatness was already on the way. And if it wasn't for that higher power giving you that greatness, guess what? You would probably be falling to a pit of despair. But see, if you feel you don't have something good in your life going, this should be the time frame you start really using your brain. And not just the 10%. Use your whole entire brain. Learn something. There was things you wasn't taught coming up, and now that you know it, teach it. There are people probably professional boxers, but they are teaching professional boxing. They are teaching all of that. Why? Because again, just because I wasn't able to make it, I'm still giving myself an opportunity to show these people who actually need it that you'll find ways and tap into certain things in life. You'll find those things very interesting. You'll find out that it definitely gives you a strong balance. There's some people who are taking boxing lessons now, not just because they want to go out and fight, not just because they feel they need to learn how to fight. It just gives them an alleyway for some who definitely deal with aggression. Anita, what's going on, baby? It's the truth, though. You might not want to hear it, but you need to accept it. I'm not doing my duties as somebody that lives in the community. If I'm allowing your kids to be around me, prime example, when I know I'm doing stuff they shouldn't be witnessing and things that I should be deterring them from doing. Again, we got to start coming in and putting our visuals even down to our neighbors. Because again, we don't need that deep seated poison. A clear example of people holding grudges is certain things that we see on a regular. Need to change that. And on that note, I am going to speak a little bit. And again, sorry, I got to speak to some of you ladies because I'm giving you the male's perspective. I can put a female up here and shoot. One of the females that be around me every other day and tell you the same shit. Ain't nothing different. Don't matter which side you hear it from. This is something you need to accept. Holding grudges against the wrong people. That's going to be a lot of you downfalls. The same way with men leading by emotions and not logic. Those are going to be your downfalls. Ladies, stop holding grudges against those who are actually trying to, again, be a part of your children's growth and your children's success. You might be upset because there's some of you that are upset because you thought you was gonna probably be with the baby father or be with the husband forever and things just didn't work out. Sometimes in life it happens. Things are not always gonna work out the way you want it to work out. But if that person is still willing and able to be a physical and a visual part of their child's life, let them. If they ain't no deadbeat, unemployed Floyds, if they ain't no irresponsible parent, let them be a part of their kid's life. The problem with some people, again, you'll hold on to a grudge where you don't move on. That's the worst method of thinking. And that's going to cause all sorts of division again. You're not thinking, again, these kids, they soak up everything. If they even get the notion that their parents is fighting, what you think is going to happen? They're going to wonder why they fighting. And then at some points, some of them might feel it's because they fighting over you. There are probably some people right now who are committing acts of that and even suicide because they feel like their parents are breaking up, something happy, or they're broken up because of them. Again, y'all got to come to that common ground. Because again, once the child is involved, yeah, it's not just you stuck with that person or you attached to that person for life. You're still going to be attached to them for life regardless. Like, that's going to be a lifetime attachment. Even if you don't stay together as a couple, that's going to be a lifetime attachment. The fact that you got kids involved. So if you can't come in as an adult and really sit down and have this conversation well before that time, guess what? Another damage being done. The damage that's going to be irreversible. It's time to really get back to critical thinking, y'all. Before I do get up out of here tonight, I just want to, again, take the time to say that. And some of y'all need to stop holding grudges. You want to hold a grudge or you want to have some sort of fallout, it better be for the right reason. Now, again, we know there's some of you who got caught in the trick bag as having a deadbeat that really don't give a damn about their children. In those instances, I would tell y'all, still don't hold no grudge. Regardless to what you may think, on either angle. Even if you're a single father that's been left raising, guess what? That child is not a mistake, and that child should be your priority regardless. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You know, it's crazy that some people would actually have to go through that. But again, in the heat of emotion, this is what happens. When you don't sit down with somebody and actually have a strong talk, and I'm talking about from friendship to relationship, even down to marriage. When that communication wall is closed or that communication line is done off, this is when some of the problems will seep in. You already know, man. It's crazy, man. Condolences, bro. But I would say condolences to almost everybody that had to go through that. Because we get stories where either one parent could be gone or it could just be the child himself. Again, there are children who have definitely committed acts that nobody was expecting. And 9 out of 10 is because of the household and what's going on. Again, y'all don't have to agree on everything, but you should agree that there's some things that should never be said or done around the children. Even if y'all are bickering and beefing. Again, they pick up on all of that energy. And when it's all said and done, the cycle again repeats. That element of destruction, should get rid of that. Your children are blessings, and you treat them as such. And again, I would always say in certain instances, if you feel you're not going to be cut out for that, then you still have options, regardless of how you feel. But my thing is, once you bring a child into this world, it's solely up to you, the parents, but it's also solely up to the community. That means all of you to make sure that you get the right things back in order. There's your responsibility, whether you want to accept it or not. Strong community raise strong kids and raise strong adults. James Money, what's going on, my guy? Again, you might not like what's being said, but you have to accept it. And in my opinion, we've accepted a little bit too much for too long. It's time to start raising that encouragement again. Encouraging the right people that, regardless to what, you got to stand on what you stand on, especially if you want to be a part of that change. And I'm definitely going to bring a part two to this, because we're going to dig deeper. Mess around in my little medulla oblongata, it could be a whole damn series. Because again, there's just some talks we're going to continuously have. Doesn't matter. It could be the same topic, but there's multiple situations to everything. Just like there's multiple answers to a math problem or an actual problem in life. We dig deep down as way we can deep. Once we get there, start rebuilding the right damn notion. You have to. For the betterment, not just of yourselves, but for the future generation. And I repeat that again. You're gonna have to be a part of that change one way or another. Whether you boots on the ground or not, if you stick into a message and you believe in that message, the most important thing you can remember. Sticking to that. And always remember that you're gonna have people. Yep, here we go. It was coming at some point. One thing you do have to remember, you're gonna have people that say things and do things to try to distract and disrupt anything that you're doing. We done seen and we done read history, even down to the greatest minds, greatest leaders, the greatest everybody. We read, we did our analogies, we did everything on it. And they done went through some of the worst of the worst. But the one thing to remember again, that don't stop you from being great, and that don't stop you from bringing what you feel is necessary to the forefront. Some people are just going to be too scared to do something. Others ain't. There's going to be people who don't want to have a discussion if that's needed. Me, I'm all for it. Because if we could get to a better common ground, shit, maybe some of us will be able to sleep safe and sound for real. Have a better mindset to not always be so jittery and worried. Because yeah, we can have our faith, but we ain't just going by faith alone. We still gotta go by sight, unity, and everything else along those lines. That's why I'm going to continue to bring these talks again, whether the people like it or not. You might not like what I have to say. Might not like the way I say it sometimes. But you have to accept the facts of what's being spoken. I ain't telling you nothing different that anybody else wouldn't tell you. I don't have to be a celebrity to just tell you the ins and outs of life when I'm living life. Before I get up out of here, though, definitely appreciate everybody that's been a part of this build and still being a part of this build. We are going to continue to push this ball forward. And I appreciate Sirius for dropping all those links, baby. She was working hard for the 99 to 8,000, baby. For those who might have just been coming in, you already know y'all can catch the replay. And again, shouts to Word for popping in on the panel. You know, it's going to be hell at times, but hey, to some degree, we already living in it. What we want to do is just try to get rid of it and eliminate it. Let's get back to a common ground of peace and happiness. And I know it can be done. It just ain't gonna be done overnight. So, and I'll definitely be back in the morning for the safe. And you know, it's always a blessing to come and bring something definitely to the people, especially when needed. And I want to see about tomorrow night. If I don't do this open panel, I might do something right for y'all, but it might have to be done early, exactly. Or if I don't, could do it Friday. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna feel nice tomorrow. No worry. Got something set up for y'all. Some of y'all already don't put the damn dancing shoes on and do what you do. Always great to talk with the people. And again, we're gonna look forward to bringing more real building and tools and solutions to where we can bring it to. Ain't no more Taco Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Oh no, my fault. It's Taco Thursday, Taco Thursday. Come in here with that next. Come on now, come on now. You ain't even bring no Taco Supremes in here for everybody. Come on now, come on now. We didn't bring no tacos, no burritos. Come on now. Appreciate you, Anton. Appreciate everybody that popped in again. Definitely looking for the talk and shoot. Hopefully somebody got something out of it. You know? Let me get up out of here. Definitely be back tomorrow morning for the safe. And yeah, you know what? I think tomorrow is a music type of day too. So I was digging them crates for that Throwback Thursday. Don't worry. For those following me on Twitch, make sure you definitely doing so. And if not, it's your loss, baby. Keep don't encourage the man that she just came in with none but tacos. We needed those tacos yesterday, baby. Oh no, my fault. We need those on Tuesday, baby. But I forgot some of y'all eat tacos every day. Definitely have a good one. I'll see y'all in these streets in the morning. You know, y'all definitely have a great evening. I'll probably see some of y'all running around the next 5-10 minutes. Who knows? If you didn't take something from out of this lesson, share it to somebody who actually will. Because again, not every message is going to be for everybody. But I'm just bringing something that's real. This ain't no tool or a hobby. This is just how I'm going to give it up. Keith, come get your nephews. That's why. Talking all that hot stuff. You ain't come get them yet, son. Come on, son. Next, you don't laugh. All those tacos better been for those damn. See, I keep setting yourselves up for this kill. Please don't encourage my madness on this early Thursday morning. Please don't. Still love all y'all, baby. Let me get up out of here. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout outs to the replay game. Shout outs to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance tonight, you already know that love is love and it be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I do is keep it real. That's what I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real bills. Safe in the morning, and, you know, we gonna do what we do, baby. Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna be bothering some of y'all tonight anyway. Don't worry. Next year, I need you to come get your nephew Stanley and come get your nephew Peters. Keith, we gonna drop little Ricky off you today, and Dee Dee, we need you to come get little Sebastian. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Anti, you ain't slick. You ain't slick yet. Don't worry. James already got half of the nephews already. I ain't messing with y'all. I gonna all take responsibility for your nieces and nephews since you want to talk all this junk. Right, you late for church, brother. Nah, it's all good. You know you can catch the replay. Definitely with some good content tonight. This is what we're gonna keep doing each and every day and night. Matter of fact, Anti, come get a little Olivia. We tired of this right now. James, make sure little Malcolm ain't over there doing nothing he ain't supposed to be doing. He ain't gonna have no candy before 12 o'clock in the afternoon. No candy. See, I was trying to leave you alone, Nexie. I was trying to bring him back home. You want to spoil him, so yeah, you know. Yeah. See, this is what you get over here. Straight vibes. How it's supposed to be. If you ain't down for that, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, I'm still gonna be here. My vacancy is in here. My feet is on this couch. And I ain't gonna be no slouch when it comes to the content. Because it's just real life. That's all you need. Real life talks. Get with it. Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.